Hi, I am Bianca with Better Beginnings, and I'm a childbirth educator and lactation consultant, which is probably how you know me. Um, but I want to introduce you to one of the doulas that we have here on the coast, Ayla. Hi, Ayla.
Hello.
So, Ayla, what is your company name? Do you have a company name? Not every doula does.
Yeah, I use Watercolor Womb because before I was doing like doula work, I'm an artist. I do a lot of artwork. And one of the things I love doing is birth art. So it just kind of flowed into
Yeah,
like
it like
dual thing.
represents you. Yeah, it represents you well. Watercolor womb, and it sounds really pretty. I
Yeah, it
like
just kind of
that.
flows.
Yeah, well, my this is not watercolor behind me, but my daughter is an artist, my oldest, and she painted my mural in my office for me. So
Oh wow.
I have a lot of love for artists. So, so you're a doula. Do you tell me about your work? Like, I know doulas kind of can specialize in different things or have different areas they're passionate
Yes.
about.
So I'm a full spectrum doula. I do fertility, labor and birth, postpartum, and bereavement, but I specialize mainly in bereavement. Because I noticed that there's just not a whole lot of doulas that do specialize in that area. Because I understand it's a really sensitive subject for a lot of people, and not everybody is equipped to handle it really well. And that's okay because everybody has their limits, what they can handle and what they can't. I've been there myself. That's why, I recently took a sabbatical and now I'm, back into it.
So I haven't talked to another doula who does that bereavement. And I know you do the other things too, so I don't want to totally
Yeah.
focus on this, but so how does a person um how would they know they need you, or they call you if something happens, if they have this? Or
Yeah, a lot of the times, the people that I would work with, because when you're a bereavement doula, you don't just work with people that are giving birth. You work with families sometimes that have like elderly family members that are, in hospice and things of that nature. And so, for those situations, I get called because they know it's coming. And then, as on the birth aspect of it, sometimes, as we all know, that you can get a fatal diagnosis, during the pregnancy. And so, for those, people are pretty prepared and it does make everything easier. But I do get calls, like the last client I had, it was a very unexpected thing. It was just very sudden. And I had like 2 days. So, it can be just out of nowhere. So you have to
okay.
kind of be just prepared all the time.
Yeah, so if someone like you said had a diagnosis that they knew their baby wasn't going to survive after birth or had passed in the womb, they could contract with you to do
Yeah, they can
or
they can
to work
contract
with
with me
them through that
early.
time.
Yeah,
Okay.
and when it comes to like bereavement for things like that, there are a lot of people don't realize how many options they really have that are out there for keepsakes and quality time and like preparing and just emotionally preparing yourself. And I have noticed with clients, when you have someone there that really knows the ins and outs, it gives them more time to focus on their emotions and their grieving and the time that they have, rather than having to worry about, I have to pick this out and I have to do this and all these other things.
Yeah, it's like you can we always say
Like,
with
I'll handle the business, you take time for you and your
yeah,
family.
it's like you can protect their space so
Yes,
that you
very much
can
so.
manage information flow, and but also being experienced and trained in this, you can you know you're welcome into that space to be a support person.
Yeah. And it's, you have to be prepared as a doula that deals with that even though people know what's going on, um emotions are high. I've had clients be very angry when I was there and not know how to deal with it. And it's one of those things, you cannot take anything personally.
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
you just really have to understand where they're coming from. You know, it's grief. We've all experienced grief in some form.
Well, that is, yeah, sounds like a challenging role. And I'm glad we have someone on the coast and that does that. I'm glad we have you. So also you do birth work,
Yes.
and are there for, pregnancies that have wonderful, happy outcomes.
Yes.
And, I noticed before we started recording that your shirt has the, flag, rainbow
Yes.
flag on it. So I assume you are welcoming to all
Oh, yes. I am.
genders and preferences, and
Yes.
people can feel
I'm
comfortable and safe with you.
very inclusive, size inclusive, race, preference, all of that. I'm a very inclusive individual. You know, that was one of my issues when I had pregnancies and I was trying to look for doulas, is I didn't really match with a lot of people. Because not everybody is inclusive, and that's okay, because everybody has their preferences and how they feel about things, and it's not my place to, you know, try to impose, you know, my views on it. It's just finding someone that's a match for me. So that's one of my things. I'm very LGBT friendly, family types, because, you know, these days you have families from like monogamous people, and you have poly families, you have all kinds of things like that. So we are all inclusive over here.
Good. Well, I'm glad I noticed your shirt and that we were able to mention that. Because I think when you're looking for a doula, you, like you said, you just want to find someone that, you know,
Makes you
shares,
comfortable.
yeah, that you're comfortable with and that you can be vulnerable with. So that's when you're going to get the most out of your doula, is at of
Exactly.
hiring a doula, is someone you feel really safe and comfortable with, and you can just be your authentic self around them. So
That,
I'm
you know,
glad that that came up,
with me
because
being inclusive as I am, it's one of those things. It's like I very much care about you as my person, as my client, but at the same time, I don't care what your views are, what your beliefs are, because it's not my job to take those things into consideration. Like, my job is to be there for you, to support you, to help you make the decisions that make you most comfortable to have a great experience.
I love that. I'm really glad that people have access to you here on the coast. Um, so do you feel like there's any particular type of client that might be a good fit for you, or any particular philosophy, although you kind of shared all that, but I
Yeah.
just want to put it out there again.
I mean, I know not every person is a fit for every doula. So as much as I want to say, like, I'd work with everybody, I'm sure there are people out there that I probably wouldn't work with because the feelings just wouldn't be right. But thankfully, we've got a pretty good network here. You know, you can refer people out. But
Yeah.
I love working with people to make them comfortable, to make sure that they don't have traumatic experiences, because that's one of the things that drove me to become a doula. I'm a mom of 5, and all 5 of my birth experiences were extremely traumatic, and I had no support system. And that's kind of what made me go, I don't want other people to do this, because this is bad. This does not feel good.
Yeah. So, you've been there.
Yes,
That brings a lot knowledge to you and experience, so that you can be compassionate with people and help them.
definitely.
Well, I think that pretty much is good. So I am going to upload this video and make sure people have all the contact information so they know how to get in touch with you and Watercolor Womb. And if they feel like this is a good fit, I'm sure you do like consultations,
Yes,
so you can interview each other and make sure y'all are vibing and all that stuff.
yes, I do free consultations. So that's one thing. Meet, see if we mesh, and then go from there if we, figure out that we're a good fit.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with me, Ayla.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.